another question that a lot of people have been asking is that the NSCIM peace process has completed almost 24 years, yet there is no fruitful resolution. So what, according to you, has stalled this peace process time and again over the last 2.5 decades?
That's a very, very relevant question. You see, number one, I think, yes, it has already completed 24 years on the 1st of August this year, 2021, and it's on to its 25th year without any resolution. In fact, things have gone a little murkier as a result, and murkier because the interlocutor was also the governor, Mr. R.N. Ravi, who was earlier the chairman of the Joint Intelligence Committee, had to be changed very hastily without much ado, and this has been tom-tommed as a victory by the NSCIM. In other words, New Delhi had to sort of, bow to the demands of wanting the ouster of Mr. R.N. Ravi, which really happened. But the fact of the matter is, the most important stumbling block are two. A is that they are stuck with the concept of a separate flag and a constitution. Yes, Amo. They said that we want this. And the abrogation of Article 370 from Kashmir has actually raised the fears that there could be a similar kind of enactment, even if autonomy were to be granted or a shared sovereignty were to be granted to Nagaland. So they are quite adamant about both the flag and the constitution. But I tell you, Sharanji, what's the most important thing, which actually is the stumbling block? The General Secretary, Mr. Kwingaleng Muiva, is a Tangkhul. He is from Ukhrul. He is not from Nagaland, as we understand the territory today. He's a Manipuri Naga. Right. Now, like Napoleon, who was a Corsican, and he had to do a little extra, right, to show himself to be the Bonaparte, to be the emperor. So similarly, now if tomorrow, and I can tell you for certainty, in 2001, when Mr. Padmanabhaya was an interlocutor, and there was this absurd agreement where there was an extension of ceasefire without territorial limits, the Manipur Assembly burned down, and many of the MLAs were actually burnt, and the speaker almost died as a result of the burn. Right. So there was mayhem in Imphal, in the valley. Now that cannot happen now.
How long ago was this?
2001.
Right.
You see, extension of territorial limits was in 2001, and naturally, as a result of the outcry, especially in Manipur, this had to be sort of revoked. For some reason, I'm an Assamese, but I do point fingers at myself. The chauvinist, Assamist outlook did not, not too many heckles were raised, because they wanted only 2 tribal districts of Assam, primarily Karbi Anglong and Dima Hasao. So except a few token, protest march in Guwahati, nothing happened. But you see, in Manipur, the valley burnt. So the center had to revoke it. Mr. Padmanabhaya, of course, was changed. But today, Mr. Muiva cannot go back and tell his people, his constituency, which constitutes primarily the Tangkhuls, that, you see, I have been able to work out a solution with the government of India, which does not include Ukhrul, which does not include Somdal, my village. He cannot do that. It would be extremely difficult for him. In fact, it would be suicidal for him if he were to go back and say, I have been struggling for so long, but I have not been able to get my homeland. And of course, neither the Manipur government and nor the government of India in all its wisdom is going to agree on it. So I don't think that that the Naga peace process is going anywhere. there is a huge impasse, as a matter of fact. And I want to be very frank with you that there is a thinking in certain circles that this problem might actually get solved after Mr. Muiva, whatever that means. I mean, I don't want to get into morbid aspects of the matter, but fact of the matter is, have there been a proper profiling of the second rung of leadership of the NSCIM taking place? If so, then we might actually have a more adamant, more vehement leadership of the NSCIM than Mr. Muiva. Mr. Muiva at least was a guerrilla. He went on a 97-day trek all the way to Yunnan in 1997. But the second round of leadership, the peace dividend has paid off, Sharadji. But the fact of the matter is, they are inside Nagaland doing everything else, collecting taxes, sending their cadres to on long-range patrols. They're intruding into Arunachal Pradesh by way of Operation Salvation. In other words, converting the Nokte and the Wanchu tribe to Christianity, by which they want a death engineering all the way to China through the Mon district by way of going through the Tirap, Changlang and the Longdim districts all the way to Tibet. And, there is absolutely disregard for the, ceasefire provisions, the march from Camp A to Camp B, concealing the weapons, and that is allowed. And most importantly, 24 years have passed. I joined the Rashtriya Indian Military College at the age of 11. I'll give you a small example, which is very important for your viewers. And I wanted to join the Indian Army. It's another matter that I was medically unfit and I was not able to do so, and I'm a student of security instead. But the fact of the matter is, a Naga child who was 11 years, he does not know, now 24 years have passed, whether he is an Indian or he's a Naga. The cessation of hostilities have carried on for so long that he is a no-war person. He sees Camp Hebron, he sees the Naga flag, he sees the Indian Army flag on the other side. Yet he is not able to sort of discern whether he is an Indian or a Naga. So it is giving rise to a different kind of a social formation altogether. I hope these aspects actually have dawned upon the policymakers in New Delhi, because we are giving rise to a different kind of a person. I had made up my mind, I'm saying it again emphatically, at the age of 11 to serve the country as an army man. I was not able to do that for medical reasons. That's a different matter. But the fact of the matter is, a Naga child, how are you going to integrate him into the Indian nation building enterprise? Because he does not know whether he is a Naga or he's an Indian. And that is because of the inordinate delay. And the inordinate delay, you might want to say that the Nagas are responsible, maybe there's a Chinese hand, etc. But the fact of the matter is, there are certain aspects which we need to guard against, which actually we should be able to preempt from our side, from the side of the Republic of India, which also have to be taken care of. Right. So I think you're quite right. The Naga peace process has to be looked at very, very carefully.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.